In this video, I'm going to go and talk about some of my injuries, and I'm also going to talk about why I'm actually losing everything and why my life is being threatened. Now, first of all, for anybody else, losing your apartment isn't a life threatening deal. You bring your stuff, you put it into your car, you move into the shelter, whatever. I can't drive because my mother made me disabled and then she tried to hide it and lied to doctors for 15 years, trying to make sure that no matter how much I spoke up about this interaction I had with medications, with my mother slipping me a bunch of pills during childhood, and then I experienced symptoms very identical to an overdose from opiates at the age of 7. My breathing slows down, my nervous system shuts down, I can't see out of my eyeballs, I actually go completely blind. First, everything's blurry, then everything's just a mess, just a big glowing mess, and then nothing. So, when that happened to me, obviously, I told my mother, father, and the doctors. It was very concerning to the doctors, my mother, and father. But my mother said there's nothing to see here. It was just some medications that was an allergy attack because a mixture of them. Then the doctor said, "What are these medications?" And my mother said, "I don't remember, it's not important." Then when I brought it up again, same bull. Then later she said, "The symptoms I'm feeling is everything in the book but the truth." She tried to make every mental illness, she tried to confuse every doctor she could, and she refused to let me see any. She did not want me going to see primary cares or neurologist or anybody like that. She wanted psychiatrist, psychiatrist, psychiatrist. And some psychiatrists would feed into my mother's mental illness, where my mother would make up illnesses and then get me medicated. So that was really bad that some doctors were willing to feed into her illness. So we had all that going on where my mother would take like a swimming medal from me. I would go try to, "Hey mom, look at this swimming medal I won in the orphanage." Mom would come screaming through the hallway, grab the medal, tell me that that must be stolen from the African American orphan over there, and that is not yours, and why is your name on the back of it, your old name? And I said, because the staff members in the orphanage wrote my name on that. And she goes, "No, I just told you. You stole this. You're a liar. You're a thief. Now you're making up fantasies about this medal. You need to go to the doctor and get medicated." So then she brings me to the doctors, tells us fantasies, and makes up a bunch of mental illnesses. I have pyro. I'm a pyro. I'm going to burn down the house because I played with matches one time. I'm also suicidal because I'm sucking on my skin because I have a neurological disorder my mother won't let me look into with any doctors. The doctors are concerned, but my mother's moving me out of those doctors every 2 years as soon as they put me in physical therapy or start getting concerned about me. But my mother has excuses like it's a side effect from the medication. It's a coordination issue. It's everything in the book, and we don't need to bring him to a neurologist. And we should never listen to the actual patient. Now, the patient keeps on talking about the cause of this. He says it over and over, year after year, but nobody listens but the doctor. But as soon as the doctor hears the patient say this, he is concerned. But my mother feeds the story and then doesn't let me see that doctor. Then I'm in New Mexico with no doctors. Then I'm in Maine getting homeschooled, and my mother's the only doctor. My mother knows best, she says. She used to be a nurse. She knows better than the doctors. Like, for instance, when we went to the doctors and I talked about this horrible thing happening to me at age 7, my mother said it was an allergy attack. Now, what doctor told my mother that? Did she bring me to the emergency room and the emergency room told her that? Was it a doctor that she brought me to? No, my mother pulled it out of her ass and said it's an allergy attack. She wouldn't even let me go to the emergency room. The people on the phone that she was talking to during this emergency told her to bring me to the emergency room. And then she responded with, "They don't know what they're talking about," and hung up the phone. And then I went unconscious as my breathing slowed down, and I was already blind and I couldn't feel my body. As I woke up from this overdose, I never had the same body again. You could feel this difference, and I started sucking on my skin. Now, most doctors would be concerned. He takes medicine, he has an overdose-like symptoms, and then he's sucking on his skin. So we should look into this and get him a neurologist. But my mother is twisting everything up. She says that the overdose is an allergy attack. There's nothing to see here. I don't remember the med list. I'm not going to give you the med list. We're going to find another doctor, whatever. Also, for the other part, she's making up stories as well. When you think about sucking on your skin, you think, whoa, that's kind of weird. Why would he be doing that to his nervous system? And when I ask him about it, he says he's trying to do it to see how it feels. See how it feels. See how it feels, the kid says. Well, that doesn't make much sense, does it? But if you have a neurological disorder and the kid just experienced an overdose and his full body changed and the kid has no clue how to even explain it or ask questions about it, then it makes perfect sense. But see, then my mother says, he's a self-harmer, it's self-harming, he's suicidal because he's sucking on his skin. So she over-medicates me and I start going up and down and all over the place. It fucks with my head. There's even one time during childhood where a teacher comes up to me. She says my name and I think she says she's going to hurt me. And then I take the pencil and go, get away from me. And then the teacher calls home and says, I'm going to kill her with the pencil. I'm not even kidding. The teacher, and it's not like I actually stabbed her through her chest or anything. I picked up the pencil and tried to defend myself because I thought she was going to try to hurt me. Now, this is a side effect of PTSD I know now as an adult. If somebody does something horrible, like hold you down, drugs you, does something just horrific, like what happened to me in the orphanage is they held me down and gave me another dose of drugs that I already just took. When things like that happen and somebody comes over to you, sometimes the PTSD will make you flinch like you're under attack. But as I got older, I was able to control that, and I really needed to with all my mother's abuse coming next. You know, ruler to the face, you know, just total mess. My mother was more into drugging me with abusing me with pills than she was with her hands. I never really had any permanent damage from any of her ruler beatings. Maybe I had a mark for a couple days, but that's about it. It scared my nephew to shit, knowing that I'm getting whacked with a ruler in the face and shoulder. But anyways, besides that, it doesn't really matter compared to all the drug abuse. Because my mother drugging me causes permanent damage to your organs for life, causes seizures, shakes. I mean, I will feel this for the rest of my life because of what my mother did. What's even worse is when I try to talk to my father about this, he just wants to run away and go into denial. Because that's easier for him. You know, actually admitting to what you've seen and what you know and looking up the records and helping your son, that's hard. But going on a vacation and sitting on the beach and going into denial and calling somebody a shithead, that's easy. So we have that going on too.